This would start before the Tournament of Power began. Goku was recruiting everyone for the tournament, and in a short time, he managed to recruit everyone. In this case, Majin Buu would not have gone to sleep, and so things would be even easier and faster for Goku, which would of course make it impossible for them to bring Frieza. Thanks to this extra time, Goku had the idea that he could use this time to train in the time room. He was training with Vegeta at the time, and so he'd tell Vegeta, "Hey Vegeta, how about training in the time room for a few months?" "What the hell are you talking about, Kakarot? How can you think of that right now? You're only a few hours left before the Tournament of Power starts." "Exactly, Vegeta. That's why I can't waste that time. Kinda take advantage of it and train. The guys that are gonna be in that tournament will be pretty strong." "Kakarot, but that's too risky. I'm sure of my power. I can fight those insects. Besides, if Birus finds out that we're training in the time room, he'll kill us." Goku would listen to the words of Vegeta, and this one would seriously say to him, "I see, Vegeta, and I'll go by myself. Just please don't tell anyone that I went to train in the time room. Make something up. Do whatever you want, insect." After this, Goku would go to Dende's palace. He would tell him that he wanted to train in the Room of Time for a few hours. Dende would be surprised by this, since there was very little time left to the tournament, but he would still let him enter the Room of Time. So at that moment, Goku would enter the time room. He would begin to train immediately in that place. They'd spent approximately 3 months in that place, and Goku had managed to perfect a little the technique used by the Super Saiyan God Phase 2 with Kaioken. Meanwhile, Birus would arrive to the Earth with Whis, and he would see that Goku was not anywhere. So he'd ask Vegeta where Goku was, and he would lie, telling him that he had probably gone to Taiyo-sama to perfect some techniques. Birus would be angry for this, but Vegeta would believe him. Vegeta was trembling with fear to think what would happen if Birus knew that he was in the Room of Time. Meanwhile, in the hyperbolic time chamber, Goku would think, "I see. I'm not far away from being able to control this technique well without it giving me trouble when I use it." About 2 more months would pass, and Goku had managed to master the Kaio 10 times 100 while using Super Saiyan Blue. By that time, there was half an hour to start the Tournament of Power, so Goku decided it was time to leave. "So I think about it. Before I leave, I really gotta know if I'm able to control the Kaio 10 times 100. Goku at that moment would begin to increase all his power, making the whole place tremble. He decided to test his strength and speed, so he'd throw a power ball, and he thought he'd be fast enough to throw it and then destroy it. So he did, but something went wrong, and at the moment of throwing it, Goku failed and accidentally destroyed the entrance of the time room, and everything would be destroyed. Goku would go to see what happened, and he realized that everything was destroyed. "Can't be! What did I do? I'm an idiot. How am I supposed to get out of this place? It's not possible." Meanwhile, outside the room, it was time to go to the Tournament of Power, and Birus was extremely angry. "Where the hell is Goku? He should have come some time ago. If he's supposed to be with Kaio-sama, he should have come a long time ago. Damn Goku. Swear I'll kill you. That idiot Vegeta must have lied to me." Everyone was scared because they had to leave, and Goku still didn't show up. Vegeta himself would be surprised and think, "What's going on? Why isn't Goku here? Supposed to be here right now. This Jadpri. Kakarot, what did you do? Birus is gonna kill me for this." Vegeta at that moment would tell Birus that he knew what happened to Goku. "Tell me, Vegeta, what happened to that bastard?" "I lied to you. He didn't go to Kaio-sama. He actually went into the time room to train. That bug said not to tell them, but it's too late to do anything." Everyone else would be angry about this. How could Goku have been so irresponsible to go train right now? He's an idiot. Thanks to him, we're all in this, and he won't take care of what he caused. This is terrible. Now what are we going to do? Birus at that moment would think, "We're lost. That idiot will never come. We'll have to leave without him." At that moment, everyone would go to the Tournament of Power, and they recruited someone quickly who could take the same place. They'd arrive at that place, and the Tournament of Power would start. Meanwhile, Goku would be inside the Room of Time. "No matter how hard I try, I can't get out of here. I've got to increase all my power to get out of this place. So I'll open the portal and get out of this place." With that said, Goku would concentrate and start to increase all of his power. Using Taio 10 times 100, he was managing to create a portal, but it was barely the size of the tip of a needle. It was so small outside the time room, Dende realized that Goku had not left. So he would go to see what was happening, and was surprised to find that the entrance was destroyed, leaving Dende totally speechless. "This isn't possible. Goku destroyed the only entrance that connects both dimensions. This is irreparable. In any case, if I managed to fix it, I would make the entrance, but be a different dimension of emptiness. Impossible for him to connect to his dimension. There are thousands like that, and I cannot specify which dimension I want to access. I don't know how Goku will get out of that place. For now, I can only ask Shenron to make that Saiyan immortal." At that moment, Dende would look for the Dragon Balls and ask Shenron to make Goku immortal, since he had not been able to bring him to his world. Inside the room, Goku remembered what Dende had told him, and that was that he had improved the time room, and it was practically altering it, as had happened before. Outside the time room, all the universes were fighting for survival, but as expected, in the end it was Universe 7 against 11, and the 11th universe came out as the winner, with Jiren standing on top. So all the universes had been destroyed, including Universe 7. In this case, Jiren would make a personal wish, which did not involve reviving other universes. And in this case, Zeno-sama would not do anything to them for choosing that wish. There was nothing left for the eliminated universes. And despite this, the dimension that Goku was in was not affected, because it wasn't even part of the universes as such. It's a place outside of those universes. Goku at that moment felt within himself that everything was over for his universe, and he would feel that frustration of not being able to do anything. I swear that when I leave here, I'll take revenge on Zeno-sama. He'll regret this. I'll train in this place until I become very powerful. Only Geth will be able to stop me. And so centuries and centuries would pass inside the Room of Time, in which Goku had remained locked up all this time. In all this time, Goku became very powerful, getting to have a very great power. In this case, Goku would never master Ultra Instinct, since his body was never cornered at some point of his stay. In that place, this one would obtain another transformation that derives from the gods of destruction, but not the state of Ultra Instinct. In this form, Goku would have a power similar to the one of Ultra Instinct, and this to Goku took him many years to dominate. Since he was alone in that place, Goku would think, with this new power I could defeat Birus if he were alive. But however, I could do nothing against Zeno-sama. Tried to get out of this place, but even with his power, it's totally impossible to escape. Being in this place for so long has concerned me completely. By this time, Goku was beginning to lose his emotions, because he had been in that place for too long. After that, 100,000 years passed in the room. Goku had an extremely overwhelming amount of power. By this time, he had lost his emotions completely. His power was comparable to the priest at Daishinkan. Yes. Damn Zeno-sama. I'll leave this place and finally kill you. Lost my emotions completely, but I've never forgotten what you did. You destroy the universes without any mercy, just for your stupid need for amusement. The only thing I felt all these years has been that of resentment. To think I lost everyone I loved. You didn't care about anything, and you destroyed them without mercy. In fact, I won't try to leave this place again. I have to make sure I'm strong enough to kill you. After this, 2 million years had passed in the time room, and Goku's power was already immeasurable. It had already reached its peak thousands of years ago, and he had spent all that time doing absolutely nothing. His memories had almost completely clouded. 97% of his memories had belonged to the time room. But what he never forgot in all that time was his desire to take revenge on Zeno-sama. I'm tired of this damn place. I don't know what the hell to do anymore. As soon as I reach my maximum power, I'll try again to use all my power to escape from this place. It's totally impossible. What good is all this power if I'm never going to use it? This is disgusting. I'd do anything to get out of this place, sell my soul to anyone. But it's impossible. I want to die. At that moment, in an unknown place, someone would hear this voice, which said that he would do anything. And this one would think, this voice is said, does I belong to a Saiyan? Did it say it would do anything? I see it has overwhelming power. This mortal could be of great use to me. This is interesting. Meanwhile, in the time room, a big yellow light had illuminated the place, so this would leave Goku very surprised. The same would see a woman coming out of that big light, and he would say to her, "What the hell are you? What are you doing?" This woman would tell him, "I heard you said you'd do anything to get out of this place, and that's why I'm here." "What do you mean? You'll help me get out of this damn place?" "That's right. But like you said, you'll have to do as I say." "I swear I'll do whatever you want. But please get me out of here." "I see. Then from now on, you'll do what I tell you and obey all my orders." At that moment, this woman would then take Goku out of the time room, and she would take him to the only universe there was at that moment. Goku would see all of this, and he was shocked to see that there really was only one universe left, and everything else was nothing. Goku, seeing this, would remember his grudge against Zeno-sama, and the first thing that went through his head is directly to go to where Zeno-sama was. But she would see Goku's intentions and warned him that he couldn't do it yet. 5,000 years had passed since the elimination of all the universes, and things were somewhat different. In Universe 11, in all that time, Jiren had become much stronger, and he felt a great power that came from somewhere. He realized that it was not just any guy. and he'd go to where that power came from. Meanwhile, the woman would tell Goku that a strong guy is heading towards them, and that it was the warrior, Jiren. Who's this Jiren? What are you saying? I'm not interested in finding this guy right now. You won't think so when I tell you who Son Goku is. That warrior was the one who won the Tournament of Power and gave victory to Universe 11. But what are you saying? Is that man? Can't be. He could have revived all the universes, yet he asked for something totally different. It's unforgivable. I'm sure he would have asked to revive the universes. Damn you! I knew the Saiyan would be like that. I was surprised when I heard his universe had been destroyed, but that guy's already here. At that moment, Jiren would arrive at that place, and he would see Goku, be surprised to see that the Saiyan didn't come from his universe. The hell? Who's this guy? If I remember correctly, the Saiyan belonged to Universe 6 and 7. How is he alive? That doesn't really matter. What are you doing in this place, Saiyan? I see. So you're Jiren. You're the one who won the Tournament of Power 5,000 years ago. I've waited a long time to meet that person too. I don't care what you want. You've come with evil intentions to my universe, and for that, I'll have to kill you. I'd never be in your universe if only you had made the right wish. And you think I care about the other universes? I don't really care about that. I only care about taking care of my universe. The others aren't my problem. I don't care if they disappear or not. Damn you! You had the power to save everything, and now you're going to die for it. Unbelievable. This Saiyan is interesting. I never imagined he'd hold such a grudge for this. At that moment, Jiren would realize that he had to eliminate that guy. Toppo was next to Jiren, so he would be the first to attack. Goku would transform at that moment and use 5% to fight Toppo. Toppo would attack him, but his attack would have no effect on Goku. Goku had destroyed all of Toppo's bones in an instant, and Toppo wouldn't be able to stand up. Jiren decided to attack Goku at that moment, and he was getting to make a little fight to the Saiyan. But Goku would tell him, "It's useless, you bastard. You can't fight me. I'm much stronger than you, and I haven't used my most powerful transformation." "But what are you talking about, you bastard? I'll finish you!" Jiren would appear from behind Goku's back, but Goku would put his arm through him at that moment, killing Jiren right then and there. Toppo would say to him, "Damn you, Saiyan! Why did you do that to Jiren?" Toppo, with his last energy, would try to throw one of his attacks at Goku, but this didn't help at all, and Goku would kill him right then and there. On the other hand, the angel Marcerita had informed Belmont that Jiren and Toppo's ki had completely disappeared, leaving Belmont surprised, as he didn't believe such a fact. "Tell me, Marcerita, what happened?" "Apparently a Saiyan took both their lives. It's impossible for them to be a Saiyan. Their entire race was exterminated in that tournament 5,000 years ago. It belonged to Universe 6 and 7. You must be wrong." "No, sir. Not at all. That guy is a Saiyan. But how is it possible? Doesn't make any sense. How is it that someone of such a weak race could have ended the lives of Jiren and Toppo? I must know who it is." "Sir, it's better if you see for yourself." At that moment, the god of destruction, Vermoth, would tell the angel, Daisy, to take him to where that guy was. On the other hand, Mikoshin would tell the Saiyan, "You shouldn't have done that. Possibly the god of destruction in this universe has noticed and won't hesitate to come to this place." "I don't really care about that. If he wants to come, let him come. If he wants to face me, he'll warm me up. That Jiren and Toppo guy just bored me. Can't believe he won the Tournament of Power. What a disappointment. I can't imagine how helpless he must have felt to have been trapped in that place millennia ago. He must have suffered a lot. But now he's a formidable warrior with unmatched power. And the best part is that he belongs to me. Completely forgot. I really have to follow your orders. But for some reason, you haven't asked me for anything. You know, he took me out of that place because of that condition. For now, I've decided that you should follow your instincts. Later, you'll realize my plan." Goku would see two guys approaching, but he already knew who they were. "I see. So you were right, and he will come." Some time passed, and the god Belmont had arrived to that place, and Goku would tell him, "I knew you'd come, god of destruction." The Daisy Angel, for some reason, had been surprised to see Mikoshin, but Mikoshin was not supposed to show emotion, and said absolutely nothing. The reason for this is unknown. On Belmont's side, he was also shocked to see the Saiyan, because he remembered seeing him, before, at the Universal Tournament. How is it possible that the Saiyan is still alive? I remember it perfectly. But how could he beat Jiren? So it's unthinkable. Besides, Jiren had become even stronger than before, and this Saiyan managed to defeat him without any problems. Why do you have that face, sir? You look scared. Tell me, why have you come, God Belmont? I hope you're not here for the same reason as those bastards Jiren and Toppo. How dare you, Saiyan, interrupt my universe and assassinate my two best warriors to a complete idiot. Those two useless bastards provoked me. I had to kill them. I'll spare your life if you leave this place right now. Don't waste my time. Or do you want to have the same fate as them? The hell do you think? You think someone like you, a mere Saiyan, could take on someone like me? You bastard, you'll be the one who dying for defying a god of destruction. I see. So if you're thinking of fighting, you know I warned you. In that case, I'll have some fun with you. But please, don't make me laugh, Saiyan. Don't you realize what stupid things you say? So if you fight, this will be very interesting. The last time he fought was 40,000 years ago. At that moment, Goku was transformed. He decided to use all of his power in that phase. At the same time, Belmont would increase his power, making the whole place tremble in that instant. He would laugh because he felt in Goku a power much inferior to his. So he would attack the Saiyan, and both would have a somewhat equal fight. The god was surprised because Goku was able to keep up with them, and this made him speechless. It's not possible. How can a simple Saiyan fight me? I don't understand. They would continue fighting, but Belmont would decide to use his Hakai technique against the Saiyan. I've had enough of you, mortal. It's time for you to fade out of existence. At that very moment, the god Belmont would use his Hakai on the Saiyan, but surprisingly to him, it did absolutely nothing. See that? Yes, you're a strong god, Belmont, but I'm tired of playing with you. What do you mean, like playing, you bastard? What the hell do you mean? Goku at that moment, with his fists, made a punch into the air that would be so strong that Belmont would come to feel this, and the impact made him fall to the ground. The angel Daisy herself had been surprised by this. She'd never seen anyone humiliate the god of destruction, Belmont, in such a way. Belmont was on the ground, and he'd been stunned by this. What the hell did he do to me? He didn't even touch me, and he felt like he gave me an abysmal physical blow. How could he be so powerful? He's just playing with me. Mortal really did this to me. I don't understand. Enough, Belmont. It's time for you to die. You had a long life, but here can be your end. You decided to challenge me even though I had warned you. Your repentance will do you no good. Goddamn god. Margarita would see that Goku was about to assassinate Belmont, but really, Belmont couldn't do anything at that moment, because it was against the rules. Belmont would tell Goku that he was just a useless Saiyan, so Goku at that moment did to Belmont his same technique of Hakai, and it would disappear completely. The angel Daisy couldn't stand this and tried to attack the Saiyan. It would teleport behind the Saiyan and throw an attack to Goku so powerful it made him fall to the ground. Goku was with wounds after this great attack and would say to him, "What? At what point did he do it? I was caught so off guard by that angel. What a cheat. How dare you do this to me? I was thinking of sparing your life, but what you've done is unforgivable. You killed Belmont without mercy, Saiyan. You're scum. If I didn't do it, he was going to do it. He's the one who provoked this. But you shouldn't have killed him, you damn Saiyan!" Goku at that moment would stand up from the ground. Then she would attack him. But Goku at that moment would stop her and grab her arm. "Then I see you wish to die too. And take this!" Goku would launch an attack on the angel, which left her on the verge of death. Goku would see this and think seriously, how come she didn't die with that attack? It's impossible. Let's see. Then I'll end her life with this last attack. That Saiyan could beat me. It's impressive. He really is this powerful. Too bad I'm no match for him. I won't be able to avenge Mr. Belmont's death. This is the end. Goku was about to kill Daisy the Angel at that moment, but suddenly, the angel Nikoshin told him not to do it, and to let her live. Why do you say that? Do you even know her? That's something I can't tell you right now, Saiyan. Alright. I'll follow your orders, and I won't kill her. At that moment, both of them would leave that place, and the angel Daisy had not died. On the other hand, the priest Daishinkan had felt the power of one of the angels was very low. But what's wrong? Wonder what chased that Margarita's power has dropped so much. What happened? Wait, I don't feel the power of the god of destruction Belmont at all. It means he's dead. But how? Daishinkan wouldn't say anything to Zeno Salma, and it would quickly go to where the Daisy Angel was. He would arrive and find her still wounded on the ground. What happened to you? What the hell did this to you? The angel Daisy would say to him, almost without being able to speak, "It was that Saiyan. He did this to me." "The same," you said. "No, that's impossible. How can they left you like that?" Daishinkan would heal them at that moment, but suddenly this one would feel the power of this Saiyan. That Saiyan took Belmont's life with almost no effort. Somehow became extremely powerful. So this immense power belonged to the Saiyan's son Goku. Father, he must also know something. He was with a woman. Why are you telling me this? Who was that woman? Daisy was about to tell him who it was, but it seemed that she had lost her memories at that moment. Apparently, she only remembered everything else, but not the woman who was with Goku. I'm sorry, Father. For some reason, I've completely forgotten. I don't remember her now that I think about it. How come I can't visualize her in my mind? I see. Think that woman erased your memories of her. Strange. How would someone do that? I'm sure she had a reason to do it, and we know of one person who's able to manipulate the memories of others, but no doubt it was her. Who are you referring to, Father? Forget it, Daisy. It's not on board. So you're not going to tell me? Okay, but I understand. Tell me how you're going to confront that Saiyan now that you know where he is because of his tea. For now, I don't think I should do it. His only sin was killing a god of destruction. Domo. I can't punish someone just because he overcame the powers of a god of destruction and killed him. If you had died, I would have had more than enough reason to pay him a visit, but what I don't understand is how that guy became so powerful in just these 5,000 years. He didn't show up to the Tournament of Power. Zeno-sama was very upset about that, but how is he alive? If his universe was sentenced to elimination, he'd been hidden all this time in this universe? But if so, why didn't we ever feel his power? I don't understand it. On the other hand, Goku had gone with Mikushin in search of a planet on which he could live. He would try to look for one similar to Earth, but he wouldn't find it. This universe is pathetic. I need my universe back. There's no chance of seeing it again. That's right. Unfortunately, you'll never see it again, unless Daishinkan or Zeno-sama decide so. Come to think of it, I could use the Super Dragon Balls to revive all the universes. How did I not think of that before? Actually, that's impossible, Saiyan. Super Dragon Balls were scattered throughout all the universes, but as they were wiped out of existence, those were also wiped out. So now there are only 2 Super Dragon Balls, which are within this universe. They're useless anyway. Daishinkan has enough power to rebuild universes. However, he couldn't return them to the way they were before their elimination. The Dragon Salama would be the only one who could do it, but it's impossible to evoke him. In any case, the Super Dragon Balls should be rebuilt, but by their own creator, the Great Salama. Who's Salama? Suppose he's pretty powerful. He's the creator god, but he hasn't been heard from for 10 billion years. That's interesting. I'd like to know how powerful that guy must be. His power has no equivalence. What can it be measured? He's the most powerful being in existence. No one can surpass him. On the other hand, Daishinkan was in the palace of Zeno-sama, and he would tell him seriously, "You must know something important, Mr. Zeno-sama." "What do you have to say?" "The same. Son Goku is alive. Apparently, he wasn't eliminated 5,000 years ago in your universe. Somehow or other, he survived." Zeno-sama was stunned when he heard all this, leaving him speechless. "You see, he's alive, but how is that possible? He didn't know he was my friend in his universe. It was destroyed, and for that same reason, he had to share the same destiny. I'd never forget that he was my only great friend, but he must die. It was Universe 11 who won that tournament." "What are you saying? You want me to kill this Saiyan?" "I didn't expect such a strong reaction from you, Zeno-sama. In these 5,000 years, you've changed much more than you did in the billions of years you've existed. I'm surprised that you no longer behaved like a child." "You're right, Daishinkan, but that doesn't matter now. If that Saiyan is alive, he'll surely have intentions of killing me, because in the end, it was me who destroyed his only universe." "He's right, Zeno-sama. When he was in front of me, I noticed the great anger in his eyes."
Huge hatred. He's very different from what he was before. He looked like someone totally different. Zeno-sama would tell his guardians to give him an order. He asked his guardians that they both had to kill the Saiyan Son Goku. They would obey the order, and for the first time they had separated from Zeno-sama. He had commanded that because he knew that Goku was not just anyone, and that this one was something strong. So in these moments, the Guardians would go to where the Saiyan was. Meanwhile, Goku would ask Mikushin what she's been hiding from him all this time, since for some reason, Daisy seemed to know her, and this was very strange. Mikushin would decide to tell Goku everything, and she would say, sighing, "Daishinkan is my brother. Why I rescued you is to fulfill my plan and get revenge. 3 billion years ago, I was banished by Daishinkan and Zeno-sama. They believed that I had been the one who had planned the revolution that the gods and angels had. They were sick of following orders from someone as pathetic as Zeno-sama was back then, so they turned against their father, Daishinkan, and Zeno-sama. This caused a big war back then that almost wiped out the universes. In the end, Zeno-sama ended up destroying those universes. At that time, they were very quarrelsome, so it was easy for him to blame me for everything. This was the reason why I was banished. Because of this, I had a big fight with my brother Daishinkan, but finally, he was the one who won the battle and sealed me in a divine dimension. But if you were sealed in a divine dimension, how come you're here? I was able to get out of that dimension, making me more powerful than I was. In that place, there was a Supreme Guardian who was to blame for the souls not escaping from that place. He was far superior to me for millions of years, but what the Supreme Guardian didn't know was that I was getting stronger and stronger. And so the day finally came, after so much slaughter, to that damned one. I could escape from that dimension. Zema-sama and Daishinkan didn't know about this, thanks to the fact that I've hidden almost all my power for this time. Just like you, I also wish to annihilate those damned ones that did this to me. Without any proof, they deserved death. She was saying this to Goku, but suddenly a huge attack had almost hit them. But who was that? It almost hit me! Suddenly, two guys with serious expressions would say, Saiyan, it's time for you to die. You'll pay for your sins. I say, so that bastard was the one who sent them. How detestable. They were surprised to see Mikushin was in that place. But how come she's alive? Can they seal her up? Don't understand. Hey, that doesn't matter now. Remember that we were only sent with the order to assassinate the Saiyan. That's right. We must comply with that order of the great Zeno-sama. These guardians, without warning, would attack the Saiyan coordinated. They'd manage to hit several blows to the Saiyan, making him crash into some rocks nearby. Goku would stop. They would make a very coordinated attack, which impacted with the Saiyan, leaving him surprised. I see. Never seen them in a fight before. They're very interesting. But they're still just simple guardians. They're not enough against my power. How disappointing. This'll end very quickly. But what are you saying, you damn Saiyan? What are you thinking? Would make a powerful attack again, but Goku this time would easily stop it and destroy it. But how did he stop it like that? How did that mortal become so strong? A most powerful attack had no effect on them. Son Goku, it would be better if I didn't kill them. I could control their minds to obey us and hit the damned Daishinkan and Zeno-sama where it hurts the most. Do you really have the ability to do that? You should have said so earlier. At that moment, Mikushin would control the minds of both of them and order them to end Zeno-sama's life. At that time, the Guardians would leave for Zeno-sama's place. Then Mikushin, they realize it was you who controlled them, and they'll know you're alive. That's exactly what I want, Saiyan. They'll realize right away, since I'm the only person who could control beings as complex as them. He'll probably doubt about it. But I'll surprise that bastard. Since I was little, Daishinkan was always jealous of me, since he was a weakling compared to me, and the deities always preferred me, until he got tired and trained so much to surpass me that he achieved it. And despite the fact that everyone was taking him more seriously, and that Zeno-sama chose him, he always tried to make me look bad, and took advantage of the rebellion of the angels to frame me, and finally, he could get rid of me. I never agreed with the rules of those bastards, but it would never have crossed my mind to start such a rebellion. I see. So it was probably all planned by Daishinkan. They were his sons after all. He probably manipulated them into doing it, so he could throw it all on you and get you banished. Indeed. That's what happened, Saiyan. But even though I explained it to the king of all, Zeno-sama, he was totally blinded by my brother Daishinkan's words. He wanted Zeno-sama to erase me from existence, but they could only seal me away. If so, I wouldn't be surprised if the Daishinkan priest who gave Zeno-sama the idea to erase the universes if they lost at that time. But it really doesn't matter. Whether it was Zeno-sama or that idiot Daishinkan, they both must die. It's why I trained for thousands of years, to take revenge on them. Meanwhile, in an unknown place, someone was watching all this.